This is Will.
This is Alex.
Welcome back to another episode of They Mostly Come Out of Me. Here it is. Welcome back. You know how we said that whenever we're not excited about a movie, this is how we sound.
Hey guys,
Hi.
It's fifth episode.
We're
What does
doing
that
a
mean?
recommendation.
It means it's a recommendation.
It's a recommendation night.
Before
And again, you know who you are that recommended this. I hope you're happy.
you know what you were doing.
I hope you're happy. You know what you did.
But before we get to that,
Anyway, yeah. You know the drill. Please, if you like what you hear, if you like our stuff,
if you got recommendations,
go
to send us,
like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Please, really helps out the podcast. Really, truly warms our hearts.
We appreciate all of
Especially makes watching movies like this more worth it.
yes.
Truly. Because holy God.
So
Is that all the business out of the way? Can we just get through this? Can we just tear this off like a Band-Aid?
hey, well, let's take it slow.
Do you have any
I don't have any business.
okay, no business.
Well, let me just.
You guys all know if
set
you
this
saw
up.
on our Instagram,
Yeah, it's not.
you guys all know that's at TMCOAN. If you want to follow us there too, we post all of the posters and all that stuff, and
All the shenanigans.
you can find beautiful pictures of like the shirt I'm wearing,
Rhonda's workout.
Rhonda's workout from our most recent episode,
Our lovely
killer workout.
masterpiece film that we watched that was deeply entertaining and amazing.
I officially have Rhonda's workout merch.
We are officially on Rhonda's workout.
I am specifically.
This is... So, once upon a time,
Yes.
back
Please explain
when
this.
we were in 76, I was going to have this movie on the podcast, and I could not find it. I couldn't track it down. Couldn't do it. I think we had another Al Adamson movie in 76. I think it was Black Heat, which was deeply stupid and entertaining. So we didn't watch it. Then we got this recommended to us with several other Al Adamson joints. And this is ass.
Yeah, this is
Also,
god
this is based
awful.
on a book, by the way.
Yeah, it's based on, you said a series, right?
There's 8 of these.
Okay. Are they like
apparently-
a James Bond kind of thing?
It
or?
was like a black James Bond.
Okay.
They were successful enough to warrant 8 books.
The only reason I'm interested is because I guarantee you, no matter how you look at this, the books are better. Even if the books are bad, they're
Yeah.
better.
Also, it's also funny because I think in 78, Al Adamson had another movie with
Oh my God.
Jim Kelly.
Okay, so here's the other thing. I love Jim Kelly.
Yeah.
I think Jim Kelly is a really, really good actor.
Hey.
He's a good martial artist.
We had on our podcast, we had a film called The Tattoo Connection,
I remember that, and we liked it.
which was a lot of fun, and it had Jim Kelly in it,
Yes.
but it
Well,
wasn't
because
Al Adamson.
Jim Kelly is a martial artist, and he actually does his stunts, and he's really good. I know it's not him.
If you're listening to our podcast, I'm assuming you've seen Enter the Dragon and all that stuff, so you should know.
I mean, by this point, I hope you would, but if you haven't, go see Enter the Dragon.
This is this is Al Adamson's Enter the Dragon.
He tried. Well, barely tried. Also, if you haven't seen it, Black Belt Jones is really good. And 3 The Hard Way is really, really good. He has a lot of good shit.
This, I don't remember the last time I saw a movie that had so little.
He was also in Death Dimension, which we have had on
Which
the
we
podcast.
did, because that was also Al Adamson.
Yeah.
Who is stupid. And there's just so little content. It's impressive. It's truly impressive how little there is.
What I want to say, also, before we get fully into this review, because it's going to be a short one, I'm not going to lie to you, there's nothing here. There's, like, very little going on in this movie at all. It is, like, mostly just padding.
There's a lot of driving.
there's a lot of like padding it out in this movie for some reason. I am convinced that Al Adamson had 15 minutes of
Movie.
Of plot. Barely.
Plot.
Maybe 15 minutes. I think that's even being too generous. But what I wanted to say is I am impressed with how Al Adamson continuously makes the lamest movies in existence. They are, you think of like a really cool movie. Like think of like the coolest movie you've ever seen in your entire life. I don't care what it is. It's subjective. So, whatever you like. Think of the coolest movie you've ever seen. The most stylistic movie, the most, intense action scenes.
Really gets your blood pumping.
Just blood pumping. Like the first time you saw, like, for me, for instance, the first time I saw like the first John Wick in theaters.
Yeah.
Adrenaline was going. I was fucking in. I was in the zone. I was like, this is fucking incredible. I love everything about this. Now think of the exact opposite of that. That is an Al Adamson movie. And it is impressive how he literally has made so many movies and not a single one has cracked that cool factor at all. It hasn't even tickled it. It hasn't even scratched the surface. Nothing has reached that pinnacle to where you could even remotely call a single shot in one of his films cool.
There's directors that we've made movies on this podcast that have made only one or two movies, and those movies are infinitely better than anything.
Even some of the worst movies we've watched on the podcast have something cool going on.
Sometimes.
No, I mean, not all the time. I mean, listen, I'm not going to get ahead of myself and say that, it's the worst. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
It's not even the top 10.
No. So, anyway, but I love how he is trying so hard to be cool, and he can never do it. Ever. He can never do it.
Hey, you know what he had, though? Every movie he adds a new thing.
I don't get how he gets like known actors in his movies.
Every movie he adds it's like a dish, where they just keep fucking up the dish, but every time they serve it to you, they think, "Oh, this time I'll try adding paprika. This time I'll try adding pepper." So with him it's like that. It's like every movie has a new fuck up, right?
Well, this one is like, maybe I'll add a little bit of ADR.
In this one, he was like, ADR is my passion.
Like, there is so much fucking ADR in this movie that you can basically call it a dubbed movie. I'm not even kidding. I'm not joking. That is not an overstatement. There is so much dubbing.
They ADR people mid-sentence.
And you know what that means. It literally, oh my God. And the editing for the ADR, whoever did it is like it should not be your sound guy.
Oh, it's incredible.
Because it'll cut off immediately.
Yeah.
They'll be talking and then it'll immediately go into ADR and it sounds like completely different. And like in a studio compared to outside, there is like ADR. There's an entire fight scene that has ADR completely.
Well, multiple.
And it's the worst because it's like all of a sudden, like Jim Kelly's character becomes like a quippy like jokester
out of nowhere.
Like it's so out of context because at no point
every time it's just him behind.
Well, what's fucking weird is he's never done that before until the fight scenes
at the end.
Yeah, and at the end he starts taunting and like talking shit to like the opponents and stuff. I was like, where is this coming from?
Or like he'll like knock someone out. And it's just a shot of the opponent's body, and they have like a stupid one-liner.
Yeah.
They just and it doesn't sound like Jim Kelly. It sounds like some random guy every time.
So if that's something you're into, if you like a lot of ADR and a lot of pre-recorded
Black Samurai.
Voices in your movie, watch Black Samurai. What's
this movie about, Will? It's about 90 minutes. Thank you.
You want to know what it's about? I can explain it in one sentence.
Please.
Jim Kelly's girlfriend. One sentence. One like kind of short paragraph. Here we go. Jim Kelly's girlfriend is a daughter of a very famous
diplomat. Something.
Yeah, a very famous diplomat. She gets kidnapped. Jim Kelly goes to get her.
Now, okay, but here's the thing. Though. Okay, You say that, and in your head you're thinking like, okay, sure, you can make a movie.
But there's more. There's more to it than that, right?
No.
Like, there's twists and turns and
No!
nothing. It is that straightforward. I am not kidding you. It is. She gets kidnapped. Jim Kelly gets her. That's it. That is literally it. That is. There's nothing else. There's no like they try and do like a buddy like cop thing, but like he's barely in it, and he's like this schlubby.
They don't do that until the end.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, because he talks to him once,
At the end of the movie.
Yeah. Well, no, he talks to him once, like in the middle of the movie, and then they're like not friends because he gives them shit, and then he just shows up at the end of the movie like he's supposed to be there.
He's been
like
kidnapped.
they're buddies.
Yeah.
But that's it. And then let's just get this right out of the way. There's so much. Okay, so there's the evil villain's lair that has like a vulture, a literal vulture, for no reason, just hanging out on the top. They show that for about 5 minutes, and then some girl stripping because it's Al Adamson and he can't help himself.
To Blackwater Media, who recommended we watch this. Thank you.
Also, go check out Blackwater Media.
Yes.
Cryptozoology is really cool, and you
stuff.
should check him out. It's really good
Thanks
stuff.
to Blackwater Media.
Thank you for your recommendation. Your channel's cool, although I have to question why you're recommending so many. I know why. But, I don't have to question it
thanks
actually.
To Blackwater Media, I had to watch Jim Kelly pretend to fight a bird for about 2 minutes.
That happens at the end. We'll get to that. Let's just go over the padding scenes. There's driving scenes. There's a 5-minute lair, like evil villain's lair, where a girl strips and awkwardly dances in front of the camera.
That's when they, because in a Bond movie, in a James Bond movie, there's always that scene where Bond shows up.
Well, yeah, and to size up the villain, right? Yeah, because he has to get to know the villain.
They do that, but he shows up at the party undercover, right?
And the villain immediately knows who he is.
Immediately, like, I know you. You're Robert Sand.
Yeah, you're Robert Sand. Like, get him. And then there's a weird chase scene.
And then he fights some guys, and then end.
Yeah, well, and of course, if you've seen an Al Adamson movie, you know his fight choreography, or well, not choreography because Jim Kelly did like his own choreography, but the way he films it, you would think that like the most incompetent person ever choreographed these fight scenes.
Use close-ups.
What's weird is like you could tell the fight scenes were good, like Jim Kelly like did his own like choreography. Yeah. But they're filmed so badly, it looks so amateur.
Well, plus, like,
which is funny because it's Jim Kelly. This isn't like amateur level like martial artists on screen.
My other issue is it also looks like they only do like one take.
Yeah.
So you'll get a fight scene, and
it
seems sloppy.
Well, yeah, because like none of the punches really connect.
And then it's just like that's it. That's all you get. You don't get like they're not like, okay, let's do that again and get it right this time. No, it's just move on.
Well, so basically when he's trying to find her, he has to fly to, is it China? Or no, like Los Angeles?
He flies well,
where does he fly to? I'm so listen. Okay. Please help me.
In the beginning
help
of
me.
Our film.
Lifeline.
Yes. Don't worry, I got this. I remember this whole beautiful movie.
Lifeline, please.
In the beginning of our kino, she gets kidnapped. She walks around Hong Kong, and then she goes back to her mansion, which teleports magically to Los Angeles from Hong Kong. She gets kidnapped, and then Jim Kelly's playing tennis with someone, and they're like, "Hey, we need you," and he says, "No, I'm on vacation," and they're like, "It's your girlfriend."
Yeah, your girlfriend.
Like, shit.
Why isn't he on vacation with his girlfriend?
Because she has to work. I don't know. And she's like, okay, I have to go make sure my car is ready.
Yeah.
So he flies to the West Coast from Mexico, where he was on vacation,
and then he gets in a taxi.
Which, conveniently looks also like Los Angeles.
Here's the padding, right? So he gets in. He lands, right?
We see the airplane.
The airplane lands. He walks through the air. He walks out of the airport. Gets into a taxi. We see the taxi drive, and then it drives more, and then it drives more.
Goes to his house.
Gets to his house. So he goes into his. It looks like a fucking office building, but
I was gonna say it looks like someone's fucking duplex.
I don't know, but anyway, so he goes in, and then in one take we still have to see the taxi drive away.
They make a point to
Yeah.
pan showing the taxi driver.
Yeah,
Will.
and it gets all the way to the stop sign and almost turns, and then it cuts to him, and he has a purple, like, I think a Corvette,
car or
a sports car. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to pretend to know what it is. It looks
convertible.
It looks fine. It looks cool.
Sports car,
It looks cool. I don't know. So he drives away. He goes to the same stop sign, and then we just get like 2 minutes of him driving.
Just him driving.
Yeah, and
then while he's driving,
the goons.
no, we get a flashback. Will.
Oh, you're right. Of them at a lake, like a
park.
a garden or something.
Of them in a garden with romantic music, kissing.
Yep, and
Cuts back to him driving.
that's
and
the
then-
only love connection we get the entire movie.
None of that fucking matters. I don't care. We don't need it. As he's driving,
Okay.
2 goons in a
Yep.
fucking beater car
Start following him.
start chasing him. Because if you see an Al Adamson movie and you got a car chase coming, they're not cracking the speed limit, baby. Okay?
No, they are going very slow. And so they're like whizzing. Well,
Oh my god.
they're simulated whizzing around corners.
It's just
and
them filming them driving in
I
like
love-
a billion different
I
locations.
love when the guy inevitably leans out of the car to like point the gun at this guy
shoot.
and shoot. And then it shows a long shot of them
not.
still shooting, and there's no one leaning out the car.
No.
You'll also see in this movie, because it's Al Adamson, continuity errors everywhere. I'm not going to go into every single one, but like they're all over this movie. Continuity errors are continuous in this movie. It's insane. It is so mental how many continuity errors there are in this movie.
No, yeah, they shoot at him, and he pushes a button, and like a little pipe,
And it shoots
Sticks out from under
shoots
his
their
wheel.
tire.
and
And
they
they-
roll off a cliff and explode.
Well, it's funny because they roll into a ditch first and then off a cliff.
Look, I'm fine
because
with them.
again, continuity is not his forte.
Nothing is his forte other than awkwardly filming nudity.
Oh yeah, he does. He is a boober man. That
Listen,
is
he
true.
loves his boobers.
He does love boobers.
There's,
Adamson does love those.
There's a great scene after this where he goes to a generic office building.
Yeah.
For some reason, that's never explained literally at all. He goes to a generic office building and like does like workouts. Okay. He messes around with a katana. He messes around with nunchucks, and he does like breathing exercises
This is my favorite.
in like a
this is-
generic office building.
I'm not
lost
kidding.
your mind.
I'm not kidding you when I say that I died for a moment. I literally, my soul evacuated my body.
Because it's just you see him
'Cause
doing breathing exercises.
He's breathing
for like
exercises
a
and
minute
then
straight.
You see, all of a sudden, for no reason,
Yes.
a shotgun in his face, and it's just a short man.
Hello, Mr. Sands.
No, surprise, Mr. Sands, and his like he has a fedora that's like covering his face.
It's like fucking all the way down on to his neck.
And then Jim Kelly's character like punches him, and he goes, and
He punches him and like knocks him out briefly, and then kicks the other guy out the window. And then the guy with the shotgun, like
it looks like a fucking like musket.
It's like a
it
pea
has
shooter.
a huge fucking barrel on it.
and he shoots
And he
at
shoots
him.
at him, and
he pulls out a gun and
pulls
kills the guy.
Kills the guy. Now, if you're thinking,
Don't think.
no, I know, never think in an Al Adamson movie. Okay, that's dangerous. That's flaw number one. Do not think while watching an Al Adamson movie. But if you're sitting there and thinking, okay, it's called Black Samurai, so he's training with all those weapons, so he's definitely gonna use those weapons in like one of the fight scenes, right?
You wish.
Again, do not think, okay? That is a problem because no, he does not use any of those weapons in the final fight scene
At all.
at all. Not a single one.
Nope.
Not a solitary one. Not nunchucks. Not a samurai sword. Even though there is a samurai sword
Practices with.
Well, no, there's one in the final fight. Well, not the final
little
fight scene.
baby sword.
Yeah, there's one in the final like scene leading up to the fight scene, which you think maybe he's gonna use. Nope. He uses just his fists. His fists, baby.
His fists and his legs.
Yep.
And he just lots of balls getting annihilated. Will.
There is a lot of nut shots
Like
in this
our
movie.
balls.
There, yeah.
Al Adamson
our nuts were
Blue
annihilated.
balls me all the time.
I know, constantly, and we have to watch his movies continuously.
I can't even call it that though.
It's like a fucking nightmare. Like
that
we're
implies
never
that there's
gonna be
excitement.
we're never gonna be through his filmography. It's like a fucking never-ending nightmare. We're just
Well,
gonna.
look, the good thing is that
We've just resigned ourselves to watching Al Adamson movies for the rest of our goddamn life.
thankfully we'll see because for a movie to be on here, it has to at least fit into action or horror.
We don't have to watch his family movies, so
And,
that's
He
good.
has like his family movies, his westerns.
Yep.
No.
We're not doing that.
No.
Sorry, Blackwater Media, we're not doing that.
Bamboozled.
So anyway, plot goes almost nowhere because he fights them off, and then he gets chased down by another group of goons into like a parking garage or
I don't
something.
even remember when this happened.
And he fights them off. It's just like padding, then a awkward fight scene, padding, awkward fight scene, and then we finally let's just get to the last ending thing because it doesn't fucking matter.
No. How dare you skip the most
I
consequential...
do dare because I want to get this over
No.
with.
You skipped the most consequential, awesome scene.
Awesome. Okay. That's
Awesome.
not the fucking word I would use, but all right. Go ahead. Go off, King.
Jetpack.
Oh God.
Have you seen Thunderball?
Oh my God.
There's a jetpack in that movie for like 5 seconds. Well, don't worry. Al Adamson has you covered. Which, by the way, this scene makes no sense. Because he is presumably going to the guy's lair or hideout or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, okay, I need a boat. And he calls Dragon. The organization in this movie is called Dragon.
Yeah.
So he orders a boat.
We don't know what because it's D.R.A. Yeah. They never explain what the I'm losing my mind. I don't even know what it's called
Dick
anymore.
Ricketts, whatever.
Dick Ricketts on
Ass.
Ass goon.
On something. Like, it doesn't matter.
Dick Ricketts ass goon over nipples.
Thank you. Al Adamson knows.
Thank you.
No, he gets a boat from the Dicks, and they swim out into the ocean, and he puts on his jetpack, and he flies off, and we get like a 2-minute scene of like some fucking guy flying around an experimental military base
In a fucking like hydraulic
in a
jetpack.
jetpack, and he like is supposedly going to the lair or something.
I love this scene too because he's supposed to be flying the entire time, but there are multiple shots where you see gravity taking over, and he just starts to land. But then in the next shot, he's like up high again.
That doesn't even matter. I love the part when he's flying and some goon runs out of a experimental military base bunker.
He shoots a fucking missile.
And he shoots a missile, and there's clearly nobody there.
Well, it doesn't even really explode.
They throw a firecracker.
It just like pops, and then he flies away.
I love it. So he lands in the woods, whatever, and you just see a fucking person like Tarzan across the screen, and then like they land in a tree, and someone clearly
you can see the catcher for the actor in the background.
someone catching them.
And then another scene that sent me.
And then they do it
it sent
again.
me into the fucking stratosphere. It's because he walks up, and then you just see like this random person in like a cowboy hat just go, and then like just like swing and fly off camera.
Tarzan across the screen.
It's like 2 seconds long, and it sent me.
And they keep doing it, and then eventually they're like, "Surprise, Sands! I'm little hitman Reinhardt." Like he literally says that.
Also, if you're a Spaceballs fan, it's Dink from Spaceballs. Yeah,
You thought he was the member of the Lollipop Guild. I said Al Adamson is
the member of the Lollipop Guild. So.
He is
the Lollipop
Guild.
Guild. Yeah, truly.
But he says some nonsense, and he sends a bunch of like African tribesmen to fight him.
This it doesn't even make sense later because they don't explain anything in this movie.
Well,
Not a single thing.
So listen, he has a riveting fight with the African tribesmen.
And he takes them all out.
The greatest part.
Riveting fight. He never gets hit in this movie.
No, it's fine.
Ever. Not once.
My favorite part of this amazing fight scene is when he throws one of them into a little baby pool.
Yeah. And then
he picks up a rock, and the guy's just like swimming in the pool, like staring at him, and he picks up a rock and lifts over his head, and then it cuts, and the next shot is him throwing the rock into an empty pool. That's the kind of bullshit. That's the kind of bullshit I have to deal with this fucking guy.
I fucking.
And then he's walking away, and the fucking little hitman Reinhardt uses a whip to grab his throat. Like
why are there like
Jones?
Cowboys and fucking African tribesmen?
Don't even try.
There's like the leader he's going after is like a warlock, and
that's such a. We'll get to that. We haven't even mentioned that bullshit. Boy,
there's like
blue balls,
magic and shit, and
balls,
weird sacrifices going on.
Blue balls. None of that happens. He takes the whip that's wrapped around his throat, and he like pulls it so little hitman Reinhardt falls and dies. And then he is driving away somewhere. So the whole time I'm thinking, what was the fucking point of getting a jetpack and flying over there if you're just going to leave?
Because Al Adamson thought it looked cool, and it did not. Okay? Because he thought it looked cool, and it did not.
It's like they filmed this scene, and then they were just like, I have no idea what to do now. Let's just go back.
Let's just have him drive back.
Like, we'll just continue on like nothing happened. It's insanity. But since you mentioned it, Will. Since you mentioned it. The villain in this is a warlock, quotation marks. Because they introduce him saying, oh, he's like into black magic. He runs a cult.
Yep.
They call him the warlock, and there's like human sacrifices and all this stuff.
Right.
And you're thinking like, okay, we're going to get some crazy shit.
No. Because, I mean, literally when he gets to the I know we're like speed running this, but I don't care.
There's nothing.
When he gets to the like fucking like evil lair, right?
Again.
It just shows the fucking warlock sitting, and there's a fucking his vulture on a cross. And then below them is
a bunch of like
dancers in like African tribal masks
doing like voodoo shit,
doing like ooh, and like just like waving their fingies at the camera.
One of them looks like Jim Carrey's The Mask,
and then there's like two of them like awkwardly like clearly not playing drums.
Yeah.
And then we get
they bring out a woman.
They bring out a white woman that dances in an African tribe mask and smears blood all over her.
I thought it's the sacrifice. They're bringing out the sacrifice.
No.
We're going to get some crazy shit.
No.
Psych.
She just dances a lot, and then scene's over.
Scene's over. And that's it.
And so our guy, Jim Kelly, watches for a minute for no reason. And then walks away. And then he goes into the layer of Sin. So we've met Sin before. She's like the right-hand man of this right-hand woman, excuse me.
She is his main hoe.
Of this warlock.
Supposedly.
And she helps him throughout. They had met previously at the party that he tried to infiltrate and then failed.
Apparently he had a big effect on her, even though they talked for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, because she wants him.
That's it.
And then
that's it. That's all you get.
There's like the evil, like lanky guy
there's like fucking henchman.
Yeah, that does just stupid shit the whole movie, and
he's
then
horny.
And that's his whole personality is he's horny. He's Al Adamson,
and he smokes a long fat cigar.
He's just Al Adamson in this movie.
Sometimes
and so
the cigar is a dick. Well.
Yeah, and so he like fucking. Samson or whatever.
Sand? Robert
Sand comes into this fucking room where she's laying and tries to talk to her, and then the lanky guy.
The lanky guy is trying to have sex with her.
Yeah.
And so she's like, no, and then he throws her down, and he's about to rape her, and then Sand comes in, and we have the most unthreatening, wholesome fight I've ever seen.
Well, because he flaps his fucking suit jacket at him and tries to stab him with a knife. Yeah,
And then Sand smacks him and then throws his jacket on him.
Yeah.
And then he goes to talk to her, and she's like,
And-
"Oh, like you want to fuck?" And he's like, "No, I want my girlfriend."
It's like, no, give me my girlfriend.
No
Where
one
is she?
says no to me. And then he says no to her, and
And the
nothing
lanky guy
happens.
gets away, but then
He goes to a
but
car.
but in true continuity fashion,
Co-
he is wearing completely different clothes,
I don't even care about that.
and he isn't even beaten up.
I don't even care about that. What is the point of this?
I don't know because I think the Warlock does at some point say that he's going to take care of him for some reason, but I don't know why. They never explain why. I don't know. I have no idea. But he did say that in like a throwaway line, and then
He gets in a
car.
He gets in a car and it explodes.
but in a different location. It looks like a city.
Well, he explodes in footage from a different Al Adamson movie.
Yeah, that's it.
It's great.
Al Adamson loves using footage from his other
He's-
movies.
He's like a library.
He loves it.
He's like a royalty-free library
He
for
is.
himself.
He's great. It's great.
And that's it. And then oh, by the way, now it's daytime after this. Sand finds his girlfriend.
Yes.
And
Oh, we also forgot to mention there was a snitch, and he got thrown in a little like tiny like holding cell and died, but we don't know from what.
and they're like, you
And
don't
that
know
was
what's in
early.
there.
That was early in the movie.
What's in the holding cell?
Oh, what's in it?
I don't
It's an
know.
Al Adamson movie, so it's gonna be dumb.
I was thinking, oh, it could be freaky, but then you watch the movie and you're like, it's not going to be freaky.
No, it's not freaky at all. So they
Finds his girlfriend,
and then they get captured.
and now they're all tied up,
Yep, and so Sin comes out,
and she is like the high priestess of voodoo magic.
and she's gonna choose which one
Is gonna be
sacrificed. So she goes over to the girlfriend, and then
starts like
this is where we also get the schlubby like L.A. detective or whatever who's there
been
for
caught
some
somehow.
reason, and then he looks over at Jim Kelly and he's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Getting us out of here," and he has a little pin that makes like
It's like a
sparks.
flamethrower / firecracker thrower.
So he burns his ropes that even though
Continuity's off.
they're tied around his hands in one scene and then tied around his shoulders in the other, so I don't know how that happened, but anyway, it's fine. And then he gets out and they start the big fight.
Our big epic showdown.
And while the Warlock just watches and commands all his people to go
Go.
down there and kill him, and then it's just awkward fighting and ADR
I love the
and
part when we get the girl fight with Robert Sand's girlfriend
and she
the high priestess.
Yep, and then it ends with the high priestess trying to stab her, but then she
stabbing
directs the
herself.
blade into the high priestess's stomach, and that's the end of her.
Looks like the easiest
And the
maneuver ever.
and it lasts like maybe like a minute.
That's it.
And that's it.
it.
I don't now. Again, you may be thinking in an Al Adamson movie, why is there only a 1 minute girl fight? But I don't know. I can't answer that one for you.
What is it they say? It subverted your expectations.
It did. It really did. And the Warlock's kind of pissed off. So all of his goons are dying. And so what does he do? Like you mentioned before, he sends in the bird.
And I have to watch Jim Kelly pretend to fight a bird.
And you have to watch while some fucking poor
bird trainer.
poor bird handler lifts and like drops this bird onto Jim Kelly.
This is unspeakably
so-
long.
it's-
Like this was unspeakably long.
It's one of the longest fight scenes in the entire
Well,
movie.
I'm not kidding. It would have been better if it was just him kung fuing a fucking puppet.
But it's so awkward too because every time it cuts to his face, he doesn't look like he's in a fight with a bird. He just
Well,
looks
it's just
like
him like waving his head.
he just
around.
looks like indifferent
because he is.
because
There's just a harmless bird on him. Like, what are you gonna do?
and so he eventually punches
What's
the
next?
bird.
You gonna have him fight a golden retriever? Give me a fucking break. Like, there's nothing.
A little kitten
Like-
comes out. A little kitty
Oh,
cat.
no.
Oh
Come
no,
get-
not a
go
kitty
get him,
cat.
Simba.
Oh my god. No, not the
He
kitty
even
cat.
said, like, go get him, Voltron.
My biggest weakness.
He had a fucking name for it.
Yeah.
And it's just like-
Voltron.
and then you hear like a punching noise, and he like punches the bird off camera, and then he just stands up and nothing's there.
So then he gets chased down by a couple dudes, and he's like climbing all over the buildings, knocking them off the rafters.
It's not even worth mentioning.
Well, it is worth mentioning because he gets shirtless now because he also has a guy
vest.
awkwardly hanging onto him, and he's grabbing onto his jacket. So Jim Kelly unvests his vest, and the guy falls back.
I love.
Oh, it's so
when he
stupid.
climbs up like an 8-foot riser to the next level.
Yeah.
And then he punches a guy off of it.
Yeah.
And when he falls, they play the audio for like way fucking longer than it is.
Yeah. And then he's chasing the guy down, and he finally gets to him, and the guy is running through like the catacombs or whatever of this castle.
Yeah.
And oh no, not yet, because the warlock gets to his big bad guy. It's his number one henchman.
Sure.
Who has like a little bell with
A
cow
cowbell.
print on it for some reason. He literally has a cowbell, and I don't know why. It was really stupid and it looked really dumb. I don't really understand. But
90% of this actor's dialogue is ADR.
and so then so this is where we get the longest ADR scene in the entire movie,
I think the scene broke us
because Jim Kelly is just literally taunting this guy the entire time.
with ADR.
Just you sissy, you sissy, you
Some
sissy,
other guy
you sissy, you.
is ADR.
Like calls him the F slur a bunch for some reason, and
calls him a
just
chump.
and like does like I'm like, and the other guy's
they
like,
allude
what are
to-
you, like Muhammad Ali? And he's like, I'm better. Yeah,
I'm better.
Yeah. And it's a different voice every single time.
What are you, Muhammad Ali? I'm better.
I'm better. And then you sissy, yeah,
I
sissy.
felt like I was watching fucking Kung Pao Enter the Fist.
It feels like that. It literally feels like that.
Eventually, he beats him up.
He beats him up and then goes into the catacombs with the warlock guy. And so they're running around, and he's still taunting the guy. He's like, stop running, come on, face me. And and then they go through, and the warlock stops, and he has a big old axe, right? So he's going to take him out.
No, he
Oh, no, he chases him through the catacombs to the little holding cell.
and he locks him in.
And he locks him in, and here's
What's in there?
the big reveal, you've been dying to know what's in it. Snakes. That's the big reveal. Fucking snakes.
And then it cuts to the body of the snitch.
Like basically harmless snakes.
and he takes his pen and he
And he subdues all the snakes with the flamethrower.
he wags a fire 10 feet above them.
And it tames all of them.
And they just sit there like staring at it.
It just tames
And
them.
apparently it tames them.
And then he goes to the locked door.
And he burns it.
And he burns it. And he can
burns
open
it
the
open.
fucking gate for some reason.
Then when he's out,
Then he goes to the catacombs again. The warlock is holding an axe.
and then he's
And he
waiting
tries
for
to
him.
swing it. And then it's the most
misses.
awkward fucking, like, what was he doing here?
Doesn't matter. We get to watch Jim Kelly
Like, slowly punch,
assault a middle-aged man,
slowly punch this man
slowly assault a middle-aged fucking wino.
while threatened to cut his head off. And then
over.
he punches him in the stomach, and he's like, I got a better idea for you, all ADR, of course.
Oh, it's all idea.
And he puts him over his shoulder, and the guy's like, no, Sand, not this, anything but this.
And then he
Oh,
sticks him in
no,
the cell.
no. And he throws him in the snake cell.
He walks away, and you hear screaming, ADR screaming, and he dies.
And then you get a shot of him covered in snakes, because that was the big thing. That's how the big bad dies. Not an explosion, not something cool. He's just covered in snakes. Yay.
My favorite.
Yay.
Limp noodle shit is they leave. Well, he leaves, and his girlfriend and his apparent agency buddy are there, and he meets with his girlfriend. They embrace and they kiss, and then the guy says like something like, "Did you get him?" or something.
Yeah.
And
He's like, yeah, did you get him?
and he's like, "Yeah, I got him." And then some goons show up who I could have sworn were all dead.
Yeah.
And then he just throws.
He's like, wait. And he just throws the pin, the flamethrower pin, and it's apparently a grenade, because
It explodes.
they're like, come on, let's get out
And
of
he's
here.
like, I guess that's it.
That's the end.
And
And then the credits roll as they walk away.
Film.
They walk away.
This was great. I really loved this movie.
Blood of Ghastly Horror is worse.
Girls for Rent is worse as well.
Yes. There are worse movies. Out of all the Al Adamson movies, this is it's really bad. It's really, really bad. It's ass.
I mean, they're all...
They have not... He has not had a good one. But I will say it is better than those, but it's a very, very low bar.
I don't know if it's better than Death Dimension.
No, I'd say Death Dimension's better.
I would say I thought that one was a little more entertaining, even though it was also...
I honestly can't remember much from that, to be honest.
Unfathomably cringe, but I think it was more entertaining.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean,
I know Black Heat from this year. I will always have a fondness for that, because when the main villain in that dies, he's like impaled on a fucking like garbage truck or some shit, and he just lays there. And then he flips off the good guy and dies.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, dog shit movie, but it does have that.
I will argue that Blood of Ghastly Horror is probably the worst Al Adamson movie we've watched.
No. Dracula versus Frankenstein.
Oh, okay. Yep, you're right. Sorry. I forgot he directed that. Yeah, you're right.
I know you forgot. I know you forgot one.
I forgot about that one. Fuck that movie. Fuck everything about that movie.
Blood of Ghastly Horror has its moments of that I, remember more.
Yeah.
It has things.
That I remember more. That's how low the bar is for Al Adamson movies.
Frankenstein does not have things.
No.
Even this technically has things.
Sort of, but barely a plot.
It's not even.
Anyway, listen, it's a bad fucking movie. There's ADR up the ass. There's fucking like no good like dialogue. It's fucking awful. It's such a shit movie. It's so shitty. There's just nothing to like. There is nothing to like in this. Like most Al Adamson movies, there's nothing to like.
There's nothing actual quality.
And so yeah, that's all I have to say. It's just it's Ass the movie.
Ass the movie.
If you want to watch Ass the movie, I don't know where you can find it because good luck.
I had to track this one down.
We had to track this one down. So
nice little fucking Raiders of the Lost Ark shit over here.
So if you can find it, go for it. But I wouldn't waste your time. Even an hour and 24 minutes. It's like you're never gonna get that time back, ever.
No, you should watch it. You should watch it just so you know how bad it can get.
No, it's a better use of your time. They mostly come out at night on any podcasting forum and listening to all those episodes. We have over 200 now.
Yeah, and telling your friends. And family
we have almost 300 episodes at this point. So
we are getting there.
We are slowly getting there. So if you really like us, we have tons of content.
Yeah.
Get a friend.
Always growing.
Get a family.
Growing.
That's more fun than an Al Adamson movie. Listening to a Team Cone episode. That's more fun than an Al Adamson movie. So do that. Do that instead.
Yeah, there's no awkward visuals on our podcast.
No, only awkward audio issues. Okay. Listen, you get a trade-off because you don't see our faces. You get bad audio quality every once in a while.
Every now and then, the technology does what it does.
And our lore episode of when we recorded on a baby mic.
As if you know, you know.
I'm not going to go into it, but if you know, you know. That's what you get on They Mostly Come In at Night, okay? Because we do this raw, unedited, unfiltered.
Yeah.
Unscripted.
Exactly.
That's what you get. That's the quality you get. Unlike an Al Adamson movie, you don't get quality.
He cannot do it on the fly.
Shitty to pretty is our rating system. It is entertainment value only, and we go from 1 being absolute goddamn garbage to 10, which is kind of a masterpiece in entertainment.
4.
Yeah, and if you're new here, we always agree on the rating. So, sorry, there's nothing exciting there. It's a 4.
Like I'm tempted to give it a lower, but
I was gonna give it a 3, but there's that surprise sand, the surprise sand, the fucking guy with the fedora.
Offended you? Who I swear to God is the same fucking actor who shows up in the goddamn.
Oh, the guy who played fucking the henchman that flies around on vines for some reason. Mm-hmm. He was also a little bit of lore here. He was the Manitou in the Manitou.
Which That was an actual movie.
That was a good movie. Go watch that instead.
That's a good movie.
Go watch that movie. Go watch The Manitou. That's an actual good movie.
That's an actual fun movie, like with content and a plot and characters.
Is it fucking crazy as shit? Yes.
Also, yes.
But it is good.
It's an like I said, actual movie.
Yeah.
And then you have this.
So go watch that instead. Or go listen to more They Mostly Come Out at Night episodes. That's what we want you to do.
And tell your family and friends and loved ones.
And also comment, because we do recommendations every 5 episodes. Yeah. If we have done the decade already or the year. We will go back. And if we haven't, we will get to it when we get to that year.
But one of you did drop a recommendation on our last episode, and then
we see it. We see it. We appreciate you. And thanks for listening. That's all I have to say. Oh, and fuck you, Al Adamson. That's what I have to say. Okay.
You fucking perv.
I'm not going to say that to Blackwater Media because I really appreciate him and his content and the recommendations. But fuck you, Al Adamson.
Yeah, Al.
That's what I have to leave it on. For They Mostly Come Out at Night, this has been Will.
This has been Alex.
And we'll talk to you all later. Bye. Surprise Sand.
Sounds like a fucking attack move.